Hi YouTubers, it is I, Hell Gear, and it's time for the South Park The Fractured Butthole survey. Here's how it works. The description below has the questions that I ask and answer in this survey. I do this for 3 reasons. So it can be shared amongst other communities of South Park, so that other players who have played South Park The Fractured Butthole can take this survey as well. Let me know in the comment section below if you do, so I can see your answers, because no 2 heroes are exactly alike, and to give a much needed bit of feedback to the developers. So answer honestly, but don't be a bitch. First question: how did you hear about South Park The Fractured Butthole? I first heard about it at E3. I want to say it's the 2016 E3, but I don't quite recall. I know this game came out in like 2017 due to pushbacks. Next question: what console did you play South Park The Fractured Butthole on? And explain why. Here's the thing. I wanted to play South Park The Fractured Butthole on the Nintendo Switch. When the game got pushed back, it was supposed to be one of the games that came out with the drop of the Switch. However, there was a debacle on whether or not to put it on the Switch. They chose not to. Then later on, as years went by, they decided to put it on the Switch. But since I didn't want to wait a whole year, I decided that I would be playing it on the PlayStation 4. Had it come out on the same day, I would have played it on the Switch. Next question: did you play South Park The Stick of Truth? I actually have played South Park The Stick of Truth, and to those who don't know, it's the sequel to The Fractured Butthole. Next question: did you play South Park Phone Destroyer? Phone Destroyer is mentioned in Wendy, aka Call Girls Attacks, and it is another side mobile game. It did recently update too, but no, I have not played it. Next question: which hero class did you begin with? I began with the Blaster hero class, actually. How did you like the unveiling of the hero class system? I'll be real with you, the unveiling of the hero class system could have been a little better. You know, I would have liked to have all the heroes available from the start of the game, or hero classes. I guess this goes into the next question. If you could change your first hero class knowing the many classes available except DLC, would you? And yes, I would. And if so, to which? If I had it at the beginning instead of the Blaster class, I probably would have rolled Assassin for my first hero class, but we don't get Assassin until like near the end, which kind of blows chunks. Next question: have you experimented with multiple classes at once? Oh, you have to. I have, and it makes for a really good trial and error. Next question: do certain classes combo well in your opinion? Of course they do. And if so, give examples. One of the good combos that I found out is that Elementalist and Plantmancer make a really good combo. You know, the Elementalist support stuff and the freezing works really well with the Plantmancer's root attack. It's really good. Tactical and offensive as well. Blaster and Psychic is also pretty well. I really experimented with that. Really fun stuff there. What other did I experiment going through with this game? Not really too sure. Next question: what is your current hero class? Right now, I'm rocking the 4 hero classes that I ended the game with, which are Blaster, Psychic, Martial Artist, and Assassin. Next question. What are the 3 best and worst offensive hero classes? Ooh, okay. 3 best offensive hero classes. Let's see. That's kind of a tough call, actually. I guess offensive-wise, Blaster would be one is best because you have the good range from the plasma beam. I like that. Close combat-wise, I'm gonna go with Martial Artist, mainly because the Dragon Dance can hit all the enemies around you. And that would have been super sweet in the segment where you get ambushed by the Raisins girls. I actually ran Psychic through that and it was wonderful. Netherborn is also a really good offensive one, especially if you do the grab that hits multiple targets. Really good. Alright, next question. Best worst? Oh, worst offensive classes. Wow. Speedster is not really to my liking as far as an offensive class because it's way too random. Not just with Fast Pass, but the area of attack is not to my liking. Let's see. Gadgeteer is also not that great on the offensive standpoint. You know, it's more like a tactical or supportive class to me, so that wasn't really good for offense. And what's the other one that's really bad? Elementalist was actually pretty decent. That one wasn't it. Cyborg was not as great because the pulling enemies towards you could backfire if it's the wrong way. Alright, next question. Defensive ones. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna have to say Plantmancer is one of the best defensive ones because not only can you like attract enemies, but the wide knockback also induces bleeding, so that's really good on a defensive standpoint. Let me see. What else? What is really another good defensive one? Actually, there are no other really good defensive ones than that. Worst defensive ones, Brutalist is a terrible defensive hero class, mainly because it's all about fight. Oh, I forgot. Elementalist is a really good one too, because that one allows you to heal, which is great. That's good for defense too. Let me see. Another worst defensive class? I'm gonna have to go with the Martial Artist for that one. Martial Artist really wasn't all that defensive. It's more like a tactical class. Speaking which, I can't think of another defensive task that was worse. Now, best and worst tactical classes. That's the next question. Best tactical class, I'm not even gonna lie, that goes to the Final Girl. The saw blade traps are amazing. That's really nice tactical class. Psychic is another really good tactical class. Being able to confuse is really good, and you can do defensive buffs when you need it. Another really good, the next best tactical class, I guess there's only 2. Worst tactical classes, let's start with Assassin. You know, the directional thing is really nice, but the bleeding, not all that great. Netherborn Tactical class is not really all that great either. Most of the time, the tacs that you want to use for Netherborn don't really help you out. And then there's actually, I want to say Cyborg with the enraging. I'm not a fan of enraging enemies. That's the deal. Next question. Which of the hero classes has the best, worst, and coolest ultimate attacks? Okay, let's get this off the bat. Worst ultimate of all the hero classes is the Final Girl. And the reason I say that is because for what it does, it's just terrible at its condition. I mean, you deal all 9s of damage, but you can't use it on enemies unless they're near death. What's up with that, man? That was a complete waste. Really, that was a complete waste. It was on, and next in line is actually the martial artist's Dragon Swagger. That one was just a whiff on the development team. Seriously, as cool as the Dragon Swagger ultimate looks, it's a guard. You'd think that you'd have a dragon come up and flip off the opponent, and then you just go straight into a guard. If I want buffs, I'll use the Psychic. And that's actually the coolest looking one. But it's also the most seizure inducing as well. Which one is the best? The best is actually a tie between one, the Netherborn ultimate, because that looks really cool, the music, and the fact that it increases the range of all of your attacks. The caveat is you're locked into the Netherborn attacks, which sucks because if you have like if you dual class, or actually not dual class, if you multi-class with Netherborn, you don't get to use the multi-class moves. It's just the Netherborn moves during the ultimate. The other best is Plant Master. Oh my god, this is also the most obscene. It's great because it can revive enemies. Or not revive enemies, it can revive all of your downed allies in range, as well as heal any of them that are really hurting in a fight. And Plantmancer Ultimate is one of the 2 ultimates that'll see you through Danger Deck. The other one is the Psychic, because of all the buffs that you get. I like the Blaster one too, because this it gives homage to Ashes of Fire. If you're a South Park aficionado or fan, you should already know about Ashes of Fire. Next question. What is your current might? I actually mixed up the might. I believe, what is my current might? Okay, 811. Good. Next question. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate the might system of the game. And of course explain. I give the might system an 8 out of 10. You know, it's great because you have to really work with your artifacts. And it also serves as a level cap. Because in this game, in light of it being an RPG, it doesn't really have like the textbook level cap that you have to be for certain things. It's all about your might. And if you don't have a high enough might, there are certain fights where it's just hard going. And the one in particular is the Raisins fight where you have to help Mosquito. A lot of people and a lot of other YouTubers struggled with that fight. I know Zach Scott went through that a lot. And he went through it a lot mainly because he was under might in that. You need like, what is it? You either need 300 or, no, I think you need 500 might for that fight. And if you go under that, it's rough sailing. It also is a restricting thing because enemies also, when you scan them, will have a might number over their heads every now and again. So you have to be careful not to fight an enemy that has too high of a might over your own. Next question. What one thing about the might system that you can't do? What is one thing about the might system that you can't do, but you would like to do? That's easy. I would like the might to actually max out to 999. And unless I'm missing some choice artifacts, your might can't get that high. You know, I even managed to get the Afro Pick artifact from Morgan Freeman, which apparently is only available to black heroes. And from what I've heard, there's also an artifact that Jesus gives to players who have the Christianity for their religion. Don't quote me on that one, but if you know if it's true or not, let me know in the comment section below. Alrighty then. Next question. When it comes to regular artifacts, what are the best and worst things about them? Some of the worst things about specific artifacts is having to go through a lot of loops just to craft the stuff. You know, I still haven't found the one from Casa Bonita. So I think I have to find the fecal part of it. And then there's the crap that you have to make. The one that's the turd. That artifact is weird. One of the best things about the artifacts is that they can level up. You know, and leveling up artifacts is a really good thing. Especially some of the base artifacts. You can level them up so they max out at 100. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, next question. Same deal, but DNA. DNA artifact is a weird thing, but I guess the best and worst thing is that it augments not only you, but your allies. And again, that's good and bad. Because you really have to think about which DNA that you use. Plus, you'll only get certain DNA in specific times of the game. Or you really don't get to use them. And some DNA is crap. You know. For a long time, I used like the pimp strength and like the pheromones that you get from the raisins. But if I had to say which one was the best one is essentially the ungodly strength. That's the DNA that'll see you through the entire game once you get it. Next question. What did you choose for your kryptonite and why? I chose old people. To all my senior citizen audience, please don't hate me for this. Here's my thinking. If I had a choice, I would not even have a kryptonite. And I'll speak more on that a little later on in the survey if the question abides. But looking at a lot of the kryptonites, I'm like, why would I be weak to this? You know, why would I be weak to ninjas? They're cool. I'm not going to be weak to something that's cool. I'm not going to be weak to the raisins. So, you know, having a weakness that's the ladies. You should be on equal footing, offensive, defensive, and intellectual wise against girls. That simple. You know, crab people, nah. I figured you're least likely to get into fights with old people. So that was more like the obvious choice for me. And when I had to go through the old folks home, man, oh, that was hell. Oh, that was hell. Next question. Oh, we got our teammates. When it comes to your allies, who had the best, worst, most intriguing, and least intriguing story arcs? Now that's interesting. The least intriguing story arc of your allies is essentially Professor Chaos. That is a weird story arc that revolves around him. And the fact that he turns good in the end is like, yeah. It's like he was the scapegoat. The most intriguing story arc for your teammates to me is Call Girls. You know, having to go through the phone company and dealing with the crab people, that was funny. Worst ally story arc actually is Mysterion's, and I've seen the show about his, you know, being unable to die, and his is just like terrible. The best story arc for the allies, I'm gonna have to say, is Mintberry Crunch's is his story. Actually, I'm lying. It's Henrietta's. Henrietta's story arc is pretty interesting because she's like, whatever, I don't care. That's the best one. And when you finally have her, it's so much fun. Next question. What one thing about your allies do you disagree with? Oh, that's easy. The fact that I have to have a kryptonite, but the coon doesn't. That is such complete BS. Especially because you go through the part of the game and they say, oh, it's against the rules and it's cheating that you don't have a kryptonite. But when you go into the character sheets and you read off the coons, Coon doesn't have a kryptonite. Truly a hypocrite. Next question. Who are the 3 best and worst allies and why? Let's start with the worst allies. The 3rd worst ally is Mosquito, and that's mainly because he cannot stay around in fights long. He has the lowest health of all of your allies. And even though he's a vampire class, the lifesteal just doesn't help him. It doesn't help him in really serious fights. Let's see. Fast Pass is second worst. You know, he's second worst, mainly because the attacking, man. That's the tough part about him, is the range for his attacks, man. Especially the one where it's like the speedster move, it's these select squares in a circle. That's just terrible. And then there's Wonder Tweak. Wonder Tweak, man, Wonder Tweak is trash. He is complete and utter trash. And of the Elementalist allies, he's actually the worst one. Best one is Human Kite, with Mintberry Crunch taking up second. Best allies, that's easy. Number 3 is Call Girl, and Call Girl is super vital. Her range can hit just about anyone in particular fight, so that range is why you keep her around. Henrietta is number 2 on the best, man. She's just really great. I'm glad to have her in the team, man. It's too bad I couldn't take her for Bring the Crunch. That would have been sweet. And I'm gonna have to say this because originally my best ally was Call Girl, but I gotta give it up to Captain Diabetes. I mean, if you do it right, he is damn near unkillable. Next question. What one thing about the hero classes of your allies, in your opinion, made no sense to your own hero classes? Certain heroes have classes that you don't get to pick. Example, Mosquito. Mosquito is a vampire hero class, but we don't get the vampire hero class. We get the Netherborn, like Mysterion, but we don't get a vampire hero class. Next question. Which ally has the best, worst, weirdest, and coolest ultimate attack? I'll tell you right now, Worst ultimate attack of the Allies is Wonder Tweaks. And the thing is, the coffee creating the lightning and shocking everybody, no, it's not all that great. And when he finally gets it together with Super Craig and they do that Eros disruption, that is the weirdest thing. I mean, it's supposed to be yaoi, and I don't know what wa wate wa means in Japanese, so if any of my Japanese viewers can let me know what wa wate wa means in the comment section below, I greatly appreciate it. Coolest ultimate of your allies is Henrietta. She actually comes, does the little demonic circle, and Satan comes out. I miss Satan. Satan in South Park, man. If you've been watching the current season, you already know what happened to him. If you haven't, I won't spoil it for you. Best super of the teammates is a tie between Human Kite going into oblivion to blast in a triangle, and Tool Shed with the big ass drill. Next question. Did you play the DLC? Of course I did. If no, skip to question 32. Interesting. Alrighty. Next question. What did you like and dislike the most with the Danger deck? The thing I dislike the most is the fact that you could go, you had to get the debt thing from the Danger deck to call off the ninjas. So if you did, you're fine. Best thing about it is it helped you do trial and error with your combos of your powers and your teammates. Next question, same deal, but Casa Bonita. Worst thing about Casa Bonita was the boss fight at the end. I'm not gonna lie, that was a terrible boss fight. The rest of the stuff was pretty fun, especially the homage to like Super Mario Brothers water stages. The best thing about that was being able to do my thing in the arcade. That was fun. Next question, same deal about Bring the Crunch. Worst thing about Bring the Crunch was the back-to-back boss fights at the end. That kind of blew. It would have been nice to heal between those boss fights, but the best thing about it is you get the best artifact in the entire game. That's the sash. Next question. Rank the DLC in ascending order. If you don't have them all, skip this question. Number 3, number 3, Danger deck. Number 2, Bring the Crunch, and number 1, Casa Bonita. Next question. If you could have one more DLC, what would it be? Something to do with Canada. They mentioned if you go to the Canada part, they talk about a DLC, but it's not a DLC. And I would have liked to have the Canada as one extra DLC. Next question. What were the easiest, hardest, funnest, most tactical, and most interesting enemy types excluding bosses? Easiest enemy type, Chaos Kids. Hardest enemy type, none. Funnest enemy types, 6th graders. Most tactical enemy types, I'm gonna have to go with the monsters from Bring the Crunch. And most interesting enemy types, excluding bosses, I'm gonna go with the Raisins girls, because the scratching and the charming. Next question. What in your opinion are the 3 toughest bosses in the game? Okay, number 3, even though I don't think this is a boss, it's when you face yourself in the Danger deck and he does that one-shot kill move. Oh, that's a pain. Number 2 is against Shub Niggurath in the police. That was a painful fight. Toughest fight is the Bring the Crunch final battle. That was a mess. Final question. Overall rating of South Park The Fractured But Whole on a scale of 1 to 10. I give you guys an 8. This was fun, and I hope a lot of people play this. That's the Fractured But Whole survey. I will again post the questions in the description below. Thank you for watching. Try this out for yourself. But for now, I take my goose from the oven because I'm done. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.